Okay, welcome. So today I am going to be offering some reflections about pressure, and especially from a perspective of leadership, but also linking that into the question around boarding schools and about how we deal with pressure. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Nick's work from Wounded Leaders and also talk a little bit about a workshop I'm running in a couple of weeks. So enjoy. So pressure. So one of the things I've noticed over the years working with clients, with myself, is this idea of pressure. And what I've noticed is that sometimes we say, okay, pressure, I think what's the saying? Like pressure shows, how good we are, and actually the idea here is that pressure shows our conditioning. It shows our internal patterning. So I interviewed a number of months ago a lady called Colette Easton, and she wrote the book Manager, which is a lot about leadership. She's a former CEO, and she would kind of look at this idea. There was two forms. You had the emotionally intelligent leader, but you had then the kind of command and control leader. And she was showing in the book different ways that this might show up. So often when pressure would hit, the old conditioning would come to the fore. So what that means is if you've learnt to be very much command and control, when the pressure hits, suddenly you go into that quite authoritarian. Maybe you raise your voice, you might get angry, you might get quite stressed, or you might try and keep it in. But I think this is really important, and Emma Seppälä talks about this in the happiness track, is often when we're quite stressed is I think it says here, stress has a ripple effect, increasing the stress of those around you. Anxious emotions such as fear are physiologically contagious through pheromones, chemicals released in our sweat. When someone emits fear pheromones, the people who come into contact with that person show greater activation in brain areas corresponding to anxiety and fear, particularly the amygdala. So you might say, I'm fine, I'm not feeling it on the surface, but you're suppressing or you've dissociated. Rather than you dealing with the pressure, you're going, nope, it's not there. People are still affected by this. And this is what Colette Easton talks about in The Manager, that this idea, when we become stressed, when we become the pressure situation, we often go into the default of our conditioning. Now, if we've been to boarding school, what have we learnt in that situation? To suppress emotion, to, keep calm, carry on. But the stress is still in our system. And Colette talks about this idea of, for example, she talks about the boardroom. What some managers will do is they just take up lots of space, or they'll interrupt people, or they'll just keep talking, or if they're giving a presentation, they'll just give so much information because their stress system is activated. The pressure has built up, they've gone into their conditioning. She's saying, actually, what you want to start doing is you want to start regulating your emotions. So when the pressure comes on, you choose a new system. You create, this pressure loop creates a new program. Some of the things she talks about is this idea of giving more space, talking less, asking more questions. There's many books, like Coaching Habit. Michael Bungay Stanier talks about this, asking great questions. What's on your mind? If you're saying yes to this, what are you saying no to? You know, what's the real challenge here? You ask questions. When you do that as a manager, moving more into emotional intelligence rather than this manager who's directing, telling you what to do, what that makes is that makes someone then dependent on you. They've got to come to you and ask for advice every single time. Whereas if you ask questions, you help to develop those neural pathways that, yeah, I can find these resources within myself. So I'll read a little bit from Nick's book, Wounded Leader, Nick Duffell. And he says here, political leadership often always involves dealing with stress. Stress is part of life, but too much or inappropriate stress makes life more stressful than it needs to be. Wounded leaders tend not to be well resourced internally, so stress will get the better of them. And he quotes the example, I think it was 2014, of David Cameron in Parliament. One of the MPs points something out about him, and he gets quite flustered. He says, calm down, calm down. And he calls that the calm down dear incident related in the prologue. Many leaders of our time demonstrated this. Cameron looks stressed at every interview, and Andrew Mitchell seems to use stress as an excuse to be rude. Boris doesn't bother, which is why the public like him. He is able to power through on entitlement confidence and hide what I imagine to be a bully's attitude behind buffoonery. So it's this idea that, as an ex-boarder, we are not very good at dealing with stress, and I've talked about that. So this pressure comes in, we go into the default pattern. So one of the things we're going to be working on this workshop is working out what your default pattern is. What's the trigger point is the first thing. What happens? Maybe it's someone criticizing you. Maybe it's, a deadline comes in. So boom, that's the trigger point. Then to work out, well, what's the default? What do I do? Oh, I talk a lot, or I try and overplan, or I ruminate, or I catastrophize. Great. That's, the old conditioning. That's what you do. Then we work out, well, what's the new thing? What would you like to do instead? And that's something we'll be working on. We'll be working on what that old loop is and then creating a new system. So this workshop, this will be in a couple of weeks. I'll put a link in the description. This is essentially a lot of the work which came out of the documentary Boarding on Insanity. There was 4 key things which came out of this. Is educating a next generation of leaders. Next one was trauma-informed society. Next one was mandatory reporting and a child protection agency. And then the final one was to close early boarding by 2035. And so it's this first one here about leadership. Let us educate this next generation of leadership. And I see this, the more I study leadership, I'm just like, wow. Lincoln, one of the key attributes of Lincoln was emotional intelligence. I'm reading The Captain Class, which is all about Tier 1, considered the most elite sports team. What's one of the key aspects of these captains of these teams? Emotional intelligence. We see it everywhere. So we've really got to move into this space of being able to deal with that pressure. And there's different ways we can do that. One of that's breath. Might be getting outside, doing some exercise. It might be just doing something different. It might be connecting with someone. It's finding some way of taking the pressure off, breaking that loop, and then starting to move down a new route, a new, more intelligent way. So this is the idea for this. And yeah, if you're interested in joining us, please do to join up. It's on Eventbrite, and we'll probably do more of these workshops over the coming months Chris Brach will be helping me from Seen and Heard, who's been really, really helpful with this. So yeah, please do, if you've got any questions about this, please do share in the comments. And just this idea, what about for you, pressure? How do you deal with pressure? And it might be you feel on the surface that you deal with pressure quite well. But what about your conditioning? How might it show up? Might you get quite stressed? And to work out what you're feeling. This is key. And obviously a lot of us dissociate, and therefore we're not aware of what we're physically feeling. Once we reconnect to that, oh yeah, there's real tension. There's real feeling. Like Nick says, we just don't tend to be well resourced internally. And what I often notice with my clients and those that I've worked with is this really negative internal critic. So we get stress and it's like, you idiot, what's going on here? It's like our system's in a storm. As Emma Seppälä says, people will feel that fear. They'll feel that anger or that irritation, and it will, through the pheromones, be spread out. So it's just to really acknowledge, oh, this is the old pattern, and you can change it. Finally, finishing here is Daniel Goleman. Emotional intelligence says we can develop emotional intelligence. Very difficult to change our IQ, but we can change our EQ. So yeah, be great to see you there, and thank you so much for your support. Okay, take care.